Hey guys, welcome back to another Warframe video, where today we are going to be looking at a build that I've been using recently in my Warframe Done Efficiently series, which is the build that I like to use to farm Cryotic. Now this is a solo farming build, and we are using our Cora here. She is slightly altered from our usual farming build, but only very slightly. And it is the first time, I think, where I've actually made use of Asia Shards here, because I've essentially put these on in place of using Vitality, as it allows me then to add on a few different mods that I perhaps wouldn't usually use. And to be fair, I don't really use Asia Shards all that often. I just end up kind of having them stashed up. So yeah, I've used them here just to increase my health, and that means that I don't have to run Vitality on this build. So yeah, we're going to go through this, then we're going to be running a Steel Path excavation mission on solo, and I'm going to explain kind of the mechanics involved, how you can, best utilize Cora in this setting, and hopefully then you guys can go off and do this yourselves. So yeah, without further ado, let's kind of quickly run through the build, and then we'll jump into a quick run. So on the Cora here, we have got, Physique, because it fits. I mean, run whatever you want here. There's probably way better aura mods you can run. This is a zero former build. Everything else geared towards range and duration. Strength doesn't matter at all in this, but I would run Pilfering Strangledome for the simple reason that any drones, so the ones that carry the power cells, we're going to be going against infested, by the way. So any infested drones that carry power cells will have a chance to drop an additional power cell if they die when they're in your Strangledome. So that's an important thing to note, and I would recommend running Pilfering Strangledome. Then we've also got ourselves, Primed Flow on here, and this is going to be geared well with Arcane Energize. Now, if you don't have access to Arcane Energize, I would recommend running Zanuric on this build. We're not going to be running Zanuric because I don't need to, because I've got Arcane Energize. But yeah, bear that in mind. This is actually giving me a bit of a hand here. And Arcane Guardian just for a bit of extra durability on our build. So yeah, that's kind of what we're rolling with. Now, I should also mention as well, the duration we've got on this is 50 seconds, which is just long enough for us to be able to put down 2 Strangledomes per excavator. So each excavator lasts for, I believe, 1 minute and it's either 1 minute and 30 or 1 minute and 40. I think it's probably 1 minute and 40. And that allows us to put down 2 excavators, 50 seconds each. That covers the entire duration of the excavator, right? So that's an important thing to note. I'm also running Master Summons. You can run whatever you want on your helmet. I'm just using this so I can keep my Kavat up, and we'll talk about that in a second. Primary and secondary, I would run whatever you want. However, I would probably choose single target shot weapons over AoE weapons for a good reason. And again, we'll explain that when we get into the run itself. I think it'll be easier to explain it there. And if we just take a look here, I'm running Felarx. You can run whatever weapon you're comfortable with. This is only a 2 former build, so big room for improvement, but this does the job just fine. And then on the Latum here, similarly, 3 former build, big room for improvement, but this does the job. We're running it on gas because we're against infested units. We have then also got Plague Rapath here with Exodia Contagion. I would use this for Acolytes, taking down Acolytes. It's always good. Using Exodia Contagion, and then we're running Unairu. The only reason I'm running Unairu is to prevent myself getting knocked down, and also so that I can strip the Acolyte's armor using Caustic Strike. That is the only reason I'm using it. You can use whatever you want, and like I said, if you haven't got Arcane Energize, probably best to be using Zanuric there instead. Our pets, we are running Smeeta Kavat. Smeeta Kavat will allow us a chance to double the cryo drops from excavators should we proc Charm on an affinity booster or resource booster. They're the same thing. So yeah, Charm, Tech Enhance to increase the durability. Everything else geared towards durability and endurance. So Link Armor, Link Health, Synth Fiber, Tech Assault, and then we've got Fetch here just to pick up drops like Energy Orbs and things like that. Now, what I'm also going to do now quickly as well is on my operator, I am going to switch my Magus Melt over to Magus Anomaly. This is going to help bring in any drones that spawn a bit quicker to our Strangledome, and therefore we can pick up the cells a bit quicker. So that's one little tip that you can use there. And I think that's basically it, guys, for this build. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be noted. We are going to be running some energy restores every now and then, but other than that, it's just, quality of life stuff. So What we're going to be doing, we are going to be doing a run of Hyricon on Pluto, on Steel Path, solo. And this is kind of my preferred mission for, yeah, farming cryo, because infested units are just generally better to do excavator missions for, as nothing can actually shoot the excavator, really. So that's why we're doing that. Also, Rotation B and Rotation C have a chance to drop a Neo and an Axii relic respectively, and actually the drop chance for this is pretty high. I believe it's around the 70% mark, so you can actually rack up a fair few relics doing this as well. And 4 excavators should take you in the region of 5 or 6 minutes on solo, so that's also something to bear in mind as well. But without further ado, let's jump in and we'll explain some of the mechanics. Alright guys, so we are in, and our first excavator has spawned miles away. Not sure why. But one of the key things to note about running Cora on excavator missions is that her Strangle Dome, when an enemy gets caught in it, will cause other enemies to attack their teammates in order to kill them or free them from the Strangle Dome, okay? So rather than just shooting any enemy that walks in here blindly, we're actually going to let a few stack up. Now this is going to be really important for when we end up having Eximus units spawn, because obviously they can just walk straight through this Strangle Dome and they're unaffected by it. And right here we're going to go ahead and pull this guy in. Didn't get an extra drop there. How about this guy? Are you going to give me an extra drop? Yes you are. So as you can see there, our Strangle Dome giving us 2 extra cells. Or 1 extra cell rather. So as I was saying, ooh, even more. How about that? Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, we want the Eximus units to be attacking the enemies in the Strangle Dome rather than the excavator itself. So it's very important to keep some enemies chained up so that they do not die, and then obviously the Eximus units that end up spawning can come over and just kill them rather than the excavator. So we can just leave this now because the units, again, like I said, they will target their friends rather than the excavator. We can grab some cells and head over to the next one. And since I can have 2 Strangle Domes up at once, I can just go ahead and throw that up. Wait for some more units to come in. Let's use our Arcane Anomaly, or Magus Anomaly rather, to pull some guys closer. These guys are a bit stuck apparently. And like so, we can just keep it going in a nice rotation. So once this excavator gets down to 50 seconds, we can then throw down another Strangle Dome and leave this one to go to the next one. You can see over there, we've got plenty of enemies chained up. That'll run through nice and quickly. And there we go. So we're 1 down. And since I have a resource booster, I'm going to get 200 cryo for each of these. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to carry on going. We'll probably do maybe 10 to 20 minutes worth here. And then we will move on and just do a quick outro and have a look at how much we've actually obtained. So I'll see you guys in a bit. One trick, guys, which I kind of forgot to mention, but you might have seen me doing anyway, is that when you are moving between excavators, you can go ahead, pick up 1 cell with your frame, 1 cell with your operator, and then you can dash over like so. We're going to have to wait for our energy to get back up a bit. You can see there that the excavator's health there did actually just go down a bit. That was most likely because an Eximus, Blitz Eximus, probably clipped the excavator with his Eximus ability. So that's one thing to note, and that can happen. It's actually quite rare that a Blitz Eximus would miss and hit the excavator, but it does happen. And we've got our Acolyte spawning. So I'm going to go ahead, kind of just sit over here. Tie him up. And then just use my Exodia Contagion here to just mess him up. Like so. And we can keep the ball rolling. Alright guys, so I've reached a point here where it seems our excavators are now, or the enemies rather, are a bit spaced. So I'm going to extract now just so that I don't waste any more time. But in the 16, or how many minutes? 18 minutes that we were in, we managed to do 12 extractors, and we got ourselves 2,600 cryotic. So that means we got 1 Kavat buff covering one of those extractors. I think that might have been the first one, actually, thinking about it. So that's a bit unlucky actually, because we could have got more. Usually you get 2 extractors per Kavat buff, but you know, what can you do? So yeah, like I said, 12 extractors, about 1.5 minutes each on average. You can do much faster than that depending on the tile set that you get, but you can also see here we got 3 Axii relics, 2 Neo relics as well, so it's a pretty good run, especially for solo. You know, being able to get 2600, and you can probably get 3k in about 20 minutes if you're, you know, doing it properly. You shouldn't be losing any extractors. We didn't lose any extractors, and we didn't even come close to losing any extractors, to be honest, in the 20 minutes that we were in there. So yeah, all in all, it's a pretty good farm to run if you can't get a squad, or you're struggling to get a squad on public for cryo, or a squad that doesn't want to go too far. Yeah, it's always worth trying it on solo in that case. But hopefully you guys found this video at the very least interesting and enjoyable. And if you do have any suggestions, or perhaps you have ways of your own that you like to farm cryo, or particular maps you like to use, then do let me know down in the comments below. I'll be happy to read through those. Otherwise, guys, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. I'll see you later.